Hey, wrestling fans, F and True followers, and members of the YWC. Brian Crazy here, F and True Wrestling. Back at you with my TNA No Surrender results from last night, September 11th, 2011. Before I jump into the show, I want to say my condolences to everybody who lost a loved one in the attacks on this country exactly 10 years ago, September 11th, 2001. We got a real heartfelt speech from Rosita throughout the night. Totally out of character, but just talking about her father who passed away. He was on the 103rd floor of the North Tower, I believe, when the attacks happened. Unfortunately, he did not make it out. But it was real heartfelt, and for a minute, I really connected with her, and I might even be more of a fan of hers now that I got to see that other side. Um, sorry, but talking about the show, it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. My broadcast colleague JC Styles wasn't too fond of it, but he hasn't been able to follow TNA in the last few weeks, so you got to put that into play. JC has been a fan of TNA for probably since 2004, 2005 when they were on Fox Sports Network, and I've been a fan for almost as long as well. But we'll jump into the card. The first match, we saw Jesse Sorensen go against Kid Kash. Um, Kind of an upset victory. Sorensen is the new #1 contender, but it was hard earned. He wrestled a good match against the veteran Kash. In my predictions, I was kind of going for Kash because I've been a fan of Kash's for years, but I like to see a new star get built, and I want to see what Jesse Sorensen does with this. I hope he takes the ball and runs with it. Then we go into the first of the two Bound for Glory series matches we'll see tonight. We see Bully Ray go against James Storm. And basically, we'll run right to the end. James Storm goes to spit the beer. He gets the ref. The ref disqualifies him. Bully Ray advances. I was very upset about this. I wanted Storm to be the #1 contender. The guy has what it takes, and he's been loyal for years, and why not give him the push? I understand why they did with what superstar they did, and we'll get to that point. But I would really like to see Storm go against Roode, and Storm really get developed a little bit farther. So then we go into the TNA Knockouts title match. We go into Winter versus Mickie James. We jump right to the end yet again. It was a good match back and forth between the two of them, but we ended up seeing a spit liquid come into play yet again. Winter goes to spit. She ends up catching Angelique Love. Then she catches Winter with the blood-like mist. And, Winter catches Mickie James, with the blood-like mist. And 1, 2, 3, she is the new champion. The referees come out and clean the stuff out of her eyes, but they don't reverse the decision. I know once it's final, it's supposed to be final, but if you see something that blatant in front of you, it should be reversed. Mickie James got screwed. Then we go into the TNA Tag Team title match, Brother Devon and the Pope versus Mexican America. And this was a good match back and forth. The Pope and Devon really worked well as a team. And it was looking like for quite some time that they were going to be the victors in this match. The Pope did a huge move. I wish he threw him in the corner, went for the DDE and got the pin, but got a little distracted. Bam. Mexican America retained the titles. Then we see Samoa Joe versus Matt Morgan. Starts off back and forth, then Joe just starts dominating, decimating Matt Morgan. Morgan comes back real strong in the end and picks up the win via carbon footprint. He laid Joe out. I like both these competitors. If you guys watch the predictions, I like Morgan. He's the hometown guy. I've been following him for a while. He's from Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. But I like Joe. I like what Joe brings to the table. I like that Joe's not like any other wrestler out there. For what he can do for the size that he is and how agile he is just simply incredible. Then we go into the second Bound for Glory series match. We see Robert Roode go against Gunner. And this was a pretty good match back and forth. Gunner actually impressed me. He raised the bar tonight. And we saw them go back and forth. Robert Roode was successful. Then we see Eric Bischoff come out and celebrate post-match with him. Well, kind of a mock celebration. Says, you know what, you opened your mouth in the promo earlier, and now we're going to have a match between you and Bully Ray later on tonight to find out who the #1 contender would be. I assumed that's kind of how it was going to play out. I didn't realize the point system was still in effect until the pay-per-view went on the air. I thought we were just going to have kind of like a single elimination tournament at this point. We have the two guys face the two guys, and the winners go against each other. But that's the way it played out anyway, and I'm kind of glad that it did. Like I said, I would have loved to see Beer Money go back and forth with one another. But seeing Bully Ray get shut down by Robert Roode, was definitely worth the, $34.95 to $40.95, whatever it happened to be. Then we go into the next match. We go into the X Division title match, Austin Aries versus Brian Kendrick. A lot of back and forth action. This might have been match of the night. Austin Aries was successful, and he's your new X Division champion. He's only been in TNA for a few months now under his current contract, and he is impressing a lot of people, both in the ring and backstage. A lot of people might not like his gimmick, but he's doing well with it. He's running with it, and now he's the champion. So let's hope that the feud between him and Kendrick stays alive. I know will be facing Jesse Sorensen, the winner of that #1 contenders match earlier tonight, but I'm curious to see how this is going to evolve. Then we go into the Bound for Glory Series finals. Robert Roode just shuts down Bully Ray. He ends up with a bloody nose, beats him with a huge spine buster. 1, 2, 3. Robert Roode is the #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Huge, huge. Celebrated with the fans. The fans embraced him. Bobby, Bobby. And you know what? I was glad that I was able to share that moment. And for the main event, we go into the World Heavyweight title match. We see Sting versus Mr. Anderson versus Kurt Angle. A lot of back and forth action between all of these guys. But at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan gets involved. Kurt Angle ends up hitting a low blow and picking up the win. And it's a shame for a guy of the caliber of Kurt Angle to have to win like that. I am a huge Angle fan. I will always be an Angle fan. Heel or face, but I really don't like how this match finished. It wasn't No Surrender. It was the night of, screw jobs. I mean, we had like 4 screw jobs in a row, so I just really kind of didn't enjoy that aspect of the pay-per-view, but other than that, the wrestling was solid. The performers did great, and, respect the performers. They go out there, and they can be paralyzed by the end of the night, but they do it for us, the fans. So, for F and True Wrestling, Brian Crazy, and I hope you enjoyed my review, and I will catch you later with Monday Night Raw.